Genome sequencing, the process of determining the complete DNA sequence of an organism, relies heavily on primers. Primers act as starting points for DNA polymerase, the enzyme responsible for copying DNA. DNA polymerase can only add new nucleotides to an existing strand. Primers provide this starting point, allowing polymerase to build a complementary strand. This process of DNA replication is central to many molecular biology techniques, including genome sequencing. A good primer must possess certain qualities. It should be specific to the target sequence, avoiding unintended binding to other regions of the genome. A good primer also needs to be thermally stable, with a melting temperature suitable for the specific experiment. There are numerous tools available for designing effective primers. Two widely used tools are Primer Blast, a web-based tool developed by the National Center for Biotechnology Information (NCBI), and Primer 3, a more versatile command-line-based program. Designing primers manually can be a tedious and error-prone process. Thankfully, several software tools have been developed to streamline this task. These tools simplify the design process, allowing researchers to focus on the experimental aspects of their work. Primer Blast, developed by NCBI, is a user-friendly, web-based tool that is freely available. It allows researchers to design primers based on target sequence specificity, product size, and other parameters. Primer Blast also checks for potential primer dimers and other undesirable features, ensuring the design of high-quality primers. Another powerful tool is Primer 3, a command-line-based program known for its versatility and customizability. Primer 3 offers a wider range of parameters compared to Primer Blast, providing greater control over primer design. It is particularly useful for designing primers for more complex experiments, such as multiplex PCR, where multiple target sequences need to be amplified simultaneously. Both Primer Blast and Primer 3 are valuable resources for researchers. The choice between these tools often depends on the specific requirements of the experiment and the user's familiarity with the software. Section 5. Primer Blast, your online primer design assistant. Primer Blast, developed by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, or NCBI, is a widely used web-based tool for designing primers. Its user-friendly interface and powerful algorithms make it a popular choice for both novice and experienced researchers. Primer Blast simplifies the primer design process by providing a straightforward interface. Users input their target DNA sequence, along with desired primer characteristics such as product size range and melting temperature. The software then utilizes its vast database of genomic information to identify potential primer binding sites. It employs sophisticated algorithms to evaluate these sites, considering factors like specificity, melting temperature, GC content, and the potential for primer-dimer formation. Primer Blast presents users with a list of potential primer pairs, ranked by their predicted performance. This allows researchers to easily select the most suitable primers for their experiment. Section 6, Step-by-Step Guide to Using Primer Blast. Accessing Primer Blast is simple. Navigate to the NCBI website and search for Primer Blast. The tool's homepage will appear, ready to assist you in designing your primers. The first step involves inputting your target DNA sequence. You can either paste the sequence directly or upload it as a file. Next, specify the desired parameters for your primers, such as the desired product size range and melting temperature. Once you have entered the necessary information, click the Get Primers button. Primer Blast will then analyze your input and generate a list of potential primer pairs. The results page displays important information about each primer pair, including their sequences, melting temperatures, and predicted specificity. Before proceeding, carefully review the results. Choose the primer pair that best meets your experimental requirements. Primer Blast provides a convenient way to design primers, saving you time and effort in your research. Section 7, Primer 3, a powerful tool for primer design. While Primer Blast excels in its user-friendliness, Primer 3 offers greater flexibility and control over the primer design process. Primer 3 is a command line-based program, meaning users interact with it by typing commands instead of clicking buttons. This command line interface might appear daunting at first, but it provides experienced users with unparalleled control over Primer design parameters. Primer 3 allows for fine-tuning of various factors, including primer length, melting temperature range, GC content, and more. The software's versatility extends to its ability to design primers for a wide range of applications. Whether you need primers for standard PCR, multiplex PCR, or even real-time PCR, Primer 3 can handle the task. Its ability to optimize primers for specific experimental conditions makes it an invaluable tool for researchers. While the command line interface might require some familiarization, the power and flexibility offered by Primer 3 make it a popular choice for experienced molecular biologists. Section 8. Mastering Primer 3, a detailed tutorial. To use Primer 3, you will first need to access it through a terminal or command prompt on your computer. Numerous online resources provide detailed tutorials on installing and running Primer 3. Once you have Primer 3 set up, you can start designing primers by providing the program with the necessary information. This includes the target DNA sequence, desired primer length, melting temperature range, and other relevant parameters. Primer 3 will then process this information and generate a set of primers that meet your specifications. The output typically includes the primer sequences, their melting temperatures, GC content, and other relevant details. Understanding the various parameters and options available in Primer 3 is key to mastering this powerful tool. Online forums and tutorials can provide valuable insights and guidance as you become more familiar with the software. Section 9. Conclusion. Primers, the unsung heroes of genomics. From diagnosing genetic diseases to developing new medical treatments, primers play a critical role in advancing our understanding of life itself. They are the unsung heroes of genomics research. Whether you're using the user-friendly Primer Blast or the highly customizable Primer 3, understanding the principles of primer design is crucial for obtaining accurate and reliable results in your experiments. As you embark on your journey into the world of molecular biology, remember that mastering the art of primer design will undoubtedly serve you well. So dive in, experiment, and never stop exploring the fascinating world of genomics.